Hi guys, and today we will be taking a look at this fantastic Hornby Railroad locomotive, and this is the Lner P2. The rear arrangement is a 282. It's greatly built. Like I said, it's a rare range. I had it when it first came out. I thought I'd take a look at it now again. My editing skills and camera work got slightly better, I want to say. And Hornby have announced a retooled version of this, and the one with the Bugatti nose, the A4 nose style. Will be interesting to how they come out later on the year in 2021. Like I said, this is a railroad one, and it's still in the range, and you can still buy it from Hornby today. Same locomotive, Cock of the North, 2001. It's not a bad loco. Let's get into it, shall we? As we start off at the front of the locomotive does have a socket for the coupling on the front, which is in the detail bag in the box. That's the only thing that came with it, if I'm honest with you. At the front we do have, I think, the metal buffers, but not sprung. It's not a boat, it's not a minus or anything. We do have the number of the loco in a basic print, because this is a railroad loco and it's 2001. We also have a hole for vacuum pipe as well, and we have a hook there too. The buff beam is in a nice red. As we move up a bit, we have 3 lamp irons, evenly spaced out too. Move up a bit more, and we have picked out in silver. May I add, we have the smoke box door hinges and bracing, I believe. We also have the dart as well, which is a nice touch there, and a handrail. We also have a painted plastic whistle. And we have a double chimney too. We have some green handrails running down the side of the built-in smoke deflectors, because they're not separately applied, they look built into the design of the locomotive. As we move on to the side of the locomotive, delivery and printing around there is a basic one. As I said before, it's a railroad locomotive, so it's pretty basic. That's the reason I went for it, because it's basic and cheap, but it still looked the part. So we start on off with the front. We do have a nameplate which is separately applied, but the printing is great. When I say separately applied, it's printed on gold and black. It looks lovely. Cock of the North. We also have a green handrail going around is what is the smoke deflectors all the way down to the cab, which I think should be in silver. I'm not an expert, I don't know. We also have some piping as well, which is picked out in green. We also have down the bottom, we also have some valve gear that's plastic. It was cost measure, I think, by Hornby to get the model onto market for cheap, and it does look nice. But the rods that do work are in metal as well. The real configuration is a 282 rail arrangement. I think it's called a Meccano or something like that. We do have a plastic long reversing rod. It's like all the way the length of the boiler. We have some steps too, where the chassis bends, and we also have some washout plugs as well. As we move towards the cab area itself, we have the number of the loco, which is 2001. We have glazing in there. The rear pony truck, as I want to call it, is, I think it's metal, and the stuff on there is moulded, but we do have steps, and it does look the part. As we move on to the other side of the locomotive, there is a few differences. Some of these I may get wrong, so I do apologise. Around the cab area itself, we do have an extra handrail. It's a small one. There's none of them big pipes that have gone there on the other side. It's a nice addition, must agree. As we move into the centre to the front of the loco, we do have something that looks like some sort of pump system there, picked out in green. On the premium range that Hornby did at the same time, I think it was painted gold. It did look pretty nice, if I'm honest with you. So I'm not sure what that is. I think it's some sort of pumping system, some sort of sanding system, it could be. Then as we move up a little bit, we do have what I think may be some sort of styling of a superheater. It's not on the other side, so it might make sense. And then we have a washout plug. There are all the changes around this side. We have glazing as well, and the printing around here is just as nice as it is around the other side. And the livery is a white and white striping, or banding, whatever your preference is. And as we look between the cab and the tender, before I start, these are basic models. railroad stuff, but they are highly detailed inside to a degree, I would say. Let's start on the cab. Everything in there is moulded, not picked out, but it's moulded at least. I think there's some seats, and you can work out what they are if you look closely enough. It is nice in there. Pity it wasn't painted, but money costs, I believe. We also have glazing as well, even in the small windows that you look out along the loco. And it is nice. We also have doors or shutters to stop crew members falling out the cab. As we move along to the tender itself is moulded again, green. There's no handrails as such for the water scoops or anything like that. But the coal itself, when it comes out, is black. It's a nice touch. Normally, Hornby get it the other way around. It's normally all black. So it is a nice touch there. As we move on to the side of the tender. The tender is all moulded. The chassis of the tender and the body does come apart pretty easy. I believe it used to have sound in there at one point on the premium range locomotive anyway. There's no painting on the actual boxes or springs like that, they're just black. The printing itself on the tender cover is basic and nice. We've got gold writing of the Lner, and then we have the lining that is white, black and white on the apple green. Does look nice, it is basic, and we have steps either side of the tender too. As we move on to the back of the tender, the buffer beam area, it has the vacuum pipe already added, also as a hook too. We do have, I think they're plastic, if I'm honest, I'm not sure the plastic or metal, painted buffers to silver. We do have the housing for the buffers in black, and the buffer beam is in red. It is nice. I think there's a few rivets as well. We also have an NNA coupling too, down the bottom. As we move on to the green area, as I want to call it, we have, which looks like some separately applied handrails either side of the tender. We also have some lamp irons, which are moulded. We have a handrail at the top where the steps are, and they could be separately applied to steps. I'm unsure. There's not really much to see. It's all moulded and a few bits that are separately applied. As we do a bird's eye view of the tender, you can see the water filler cap. It looks to be separately applied as well. There's also a half a moon thing there that I'm not sure what that is. It could do something to do with the coal. I am unsure. The coal itself is moulded in, but it doesn't look too bad in my opinion. I could be wrong. We also have some sticky up points at the end, which I think are for the tarpaulin to cover the crew, even though the cab's quite big, but that's what I think it's for. As we look down on the locomotive from a bird's eye view, starting at the cab itself has a few rivets on top. It also has moulded vents that do not move, but it's nothing great about that. We also have two, I believe, metal safety valves there. As we move along, the livery is apple green with white and black white lining. Does look nice, if I'm honest with you. This is the not enhanced version, it's just the basic one. In the centre of the locomotive, we do have a round circle of rivets, normally where the dome would be on a locomotive. And as we move to the end or the front of the locomotive, depending on your preference and depending on which way it's going, we do have a double blast pipe, plastic as well, and we have the whistle I mentioned at the start as well. As we look underneath of the locomotive, the front pony truck or bogie does pivot. Sometimes it is a little loose or a little light. If you want to add some weight, it's easily done. You can add a few washers underneath to hide it. It has been done and it is a good fix. I have no issues. As we move into the driving wheel area, we do have some brakes already moulded on there, like most locos these days. We also have the brake rigging applied. That is a great touch there when you apply stuff like that. As for the pickups, I believe there's two copper strips either side of the wheels running along the 8 driving wheels from what I can see. So they've all got pickups, if I got that correct. If not, I think at least 6 of them have. As we move towards the cab area where it should be, the wheel is flangeless, and there's a screw to undo it to replace them. Hornby haven't gave you one with a flange on. I don't know why that's there. It could be just habit. And as we take a look underneath the tender, like I said, the tender probably is metal like the chassis. The connection between the loco and tender is a plastic, 2-hole prong thing. It is plastic and it's not as bad as the rocket one, but it's Not great. I'd prefer them to be permanently screwed in. Hornby normally do that wonderful, but this one they haven't. It could be before they started it. On a side note, the premium one that came out at the same time did have tender pickups. This one doesn't look like to have tender pickups in it, but I'm sure you can easily arrange it. The axles in the thing are metal, which does tell me that you can easily do it. The coupling at the end is NEM, and we also have some brake rigging that's already applied on the outside like the Lner do. So yeah guys, that's it on the track. Next it will be points test and second radius, see if we can do second radius. I've heard it can do second radius, but I've never really tested it. So let's get on with it, shall we? Not bad, that's what, 20? Just there, not bad, that's pretty impressive actually for a loco this size. Not the smoothest one, but at least it can do it at slow speed. So yeah, it managed that pretty fantastic if I'm honest with you, especially the points test. I am amazed it can do second radius if I'm honest with you. It didn't really struggle, just a slightly slow speed, it gets stuck occasionally, but it can do second radius, no issues whatsoever. So next up is a slow speed and a running session, so here goes. What's that? Not bad. 20 on DC. That is pretty impressive. And it's quite smooth at 20 as well. Let's speed it up. Very smooth. So yeah guys, that's the end of the running session and review. Before I give you my opinion, I'll show you what it ran with, as you probably can guess. Some Hornby Railroad, teaks, a premium range Buffy car, then there's some more railroading coaches, and at the end there's a premium range full brake Grizzly. They are stunning. So yeah, my opinion on this model is, even though it's lacking a few details, it's quite fantastic if I'm honest with you. I'm not saying that because I'm an Lner fan, I'm just saying that because it's an honest review. I've had no issues with it, no derails, nothing. My only criticism, if there had to be any, would be the connection between a tender and a loco, like a permanent one. Even with my Tornado and BR8P, Duchess of Gloucester, that's got the same sort of connection, and I have issues with them. Could be just me, I don't know, but I prefer a permanent one. I won't be doing most of theirs with a screw. But failing that, it's fantastic, and it's half the price of the new retooled stuff that's coming out. Like I said, it is still in the railroad range in 2021. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will see you hopefully in the next one. Please take care.